1, 2, 1,
Oh, it's the sound of the drum, so you know what that means. It is time for Tim Fletcher's High School Headquarters, presented by Chevyland. How are you, boys and girls? My name is Tim Fletcher. I am so glad to be with you here on this fantastic Thursday. It's another fantastic night for football. A little warm, I understand that. They are already kicking off down in Natchitoches at Turpin Stadium, where Loyola is taking on St. Mary's tonight. Nice game for the Flyers. They're 3-0, and they finally had a little bit of a breather last week. We've got a little special deal on the Flyers coming up a little bit later on. I guess you would have to say he is their most valuable player thus far, not named Ethan Stansel. Of course, tonight, though, the big game over at Lee Hedges Stadium, it's the Bird Yellow Jackets taking on the Captain Shreve Gators. This is a little bit of an unusual twist to the old rivalry in the city. The Bird Yellow Jackets are 0-3. Captain Shreve, 3-0. Undefeated, looking good. Offense is fluid, defense is playing well, and they're catching Bird at a really good time if you're a Shreve fan. The Bird Yellow Jackets are absolutely hobbled and hindered by injuries. Last week, Xavier Moore, their really fine quarterback, was knocked out for the year. He's a senior. He is done with another knee injury. I talked to Mike Suggs the other day, and he said that they have 4 of their 5 offensive linemen that are hurt, their top 3 running backs, and now their quarterback. So basically, I guess you could say it's Bird's junior varsity offense trying to go up against a Shreve defense that has been very, very salty. But once again, Shreve-Bird rivalry encompasses the whole week. There are warnings, or you should say maybe suggestions, sent out by the principals to both student bodies and parents to say, keep an eye on the kids. Make sure they don't do anything, destruction of property, spray painting, graffiti, stealing a Yellow Jacket head, or doing something to the Gator Tunnel. Everyone needs to just kind of play it cool. So, with that said, it's still a rivalry. And what we thought would be interesting is, where do these seeds of the rivalry really get planted into the ground? Well, of course, when you first arrive at CE Bird, when you first arrive at Captain Shreve, you're a freshman. So where better to begin high school headquarters presented by Chevyland than at the Bird Shreve freshman game from earlier this week. A sun-splashed afternoon on Gladstone for the freshman game pitting Bird versus Shreve. The fans were in place. Nice crowd. Cheerleaders feeling the rivalry. They've got spirit. Yes, they do. They've got spirit. How about you? Oh, they've got spirit. Yes, they do. They've got spirit. How about you? Cheer Club. The first rule of Cheer Club, you don't talk about Cheer Club. Thought they were going to get a skirmish, but they're smiling and bouncing and laughing and having a good time. So that's good. The friendly rivalry. Off the field. On the field. Nice. On the carpet. Malcolm Jacobs to the house. Touchdown, Shreve. Uh-oh. It's coming back. Coach not happy. Ivan Adams with a nice pickup. Rima with the tackle. That's Rima Getter. Rima get him instead. Malik carry out to Boots Frierson, stopped by James Carinio. Nice job there by number 33. Had some help as well. Adams on the loose. Drake Medina. Funky cold slam from Drake Medina. Cameron Felt into Adams' belly, but he keeps it. Where's Cameron Felt? I felt he was going to go all the way, and he does. Cameron Felt, touchdown for the Bird Yellow Jackets. Holy cow. The crowd goes wild as the fab freshman gives the Jackets the early lead in the second quarter, but Malik Carey's a very talented young man. Look at the moves this kid's making, bouncing left and right. A gaggle of Yellow Jackets swarm to bring him down. It's Booch. He's loose, but Reginald Poland on the takedown. Lech Valenza would be happy. Carey sacked by Carino and Ethan Bracey. Bracey coming on the outside, Carino on the inside. Bird moving the ball in the third quarter. It's 13-6 Bird at the half. We've got a fumble. Felt it coming. He pounces back on it. Jacob Tyndall on fourth down. Check out the fab freshman from Captain Shreve. Goes way up. Look at that, man. Tyndall Island. You don't come after that, man. Heck no, Jacob Tyndall. Fourth quarter now. Tyndall can swat him, and he can slam him. Look at the big man taking down the Yellow Jacket, Jacob Tyndall again. Bird driving toward the sun. Picturesque. Inside the 5-yard line, but not quite reaching pay dirt. I can't see a thing from here. The sun's in my eyes. It looks like Bird is in. Yes. But boy, look at that sun flare. Art shot. Touchdown Bird. Final play of the game. It's 19-7 Bird. Malik heaves it up and finds his man. That's Trey Smith with the touchdown. 19-13 is your final. What a fun game for these kids to play in as the seeds of the rivalry have been planted.
It's intense. It's real. You feel the vibe. It's just whenever you lose like this, you should have won. It's
Can you not wait to be out there on a Friday night with this stuff?
It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna like it a lot more. Under the lights and everything, it's gonna be great.
It was tough. They came for me this game. I mean, all I can say is a good game to them.
Now, that's one. You got 3 more shots at them for the next 3 years, right?
Yeah, we coming for them next year.
What does it feel like? Is this week feel different than a typical freshman game?
No, it's a regular freshman game.
A regular? Now, you're sure about that?
Regular freshman game.
It's
just another ordinary game.
They may as well have been airline over there.
Yes, sir. We got airline next week. Coming for them, too.
Everybody was talking about Shreve, how they're 3-0. First, we came out with 2 losses against a JV team, and that was kind of expected. And then we came out against another team. We could have had them, but we just had our little faults like everyone does. Next thing you know, we came, picked our heads up, had a whole week of nothing but training, working hard with my boys, and I got to believe in them. They believed in me, and we came out with a win.
How does it feel your first time to participate in the Bird-Shreve rivalry?
Best feeling ever. Nothing compares. It's amazing.
How jacked up were you guys before the game started?
We were so pumped. I mean, we had our heads a little down. We were coming out here 0-2. They're 3-0. But we came out, we wanted it more, and we got it.
How excited are you about being a part of a Friday Bird-Shreve game in your future?
So excited. I mean, I've always been watching them, and I just can't wait to get on the field.
By now, they're probably about 2 drives deep into the varsity game. I'm sure Bird fans are thinking, wait a minute, so our freshman team was winless, taking on an unbeaten Captain Shreve team, and Bird won. Maybe that'll happen with the varsity tonight. We'll see. Should be a heck of a football game. Of course, we'll have some more on tonight's game on next week's show. This is Tim Fletcher's high school headquarters, and we're presented by Chevyland. We are so thankful to have those guys with us in all of our endeavors with high school football. They really do give back to the community, care about the community. Chevyland, 7500 Uri Drive. Now, when we come back, that look at perhaps the best leg at Loyola when high school headquarters continues right after this.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
Dreaming about college? Choose us. We're flexible. Attend on your schedule, your time. Our tuition per semester is approximately half compared to 4-year universities. Get the opportunity to become workforce ready in high-demand career areas. Bossier Parish Community College. Dreams start here.
Brewer Quality Homes,
right, guys, this is high school headquarters here on KSHV V45, presented by Chevyland. My name is Tim Fletcher. So happy to be with you here on this lovely football Thursday night. Big games, of course, on the weekend. A lot of good college football. Of course, the NFL, the Cowboys, Dak, Saints, Falcons, Superdome. To me, it doesn't get more to the essence of football than when a high school football team finds a reliable kicker. It is amazing how much of a difference a good kicker can make. Think about it. When's the last time you saw a high school football game 28-21 or 35-28? Usually it's 26-18, 22-12. Kickers are hard to find. Well, the Loyola Flyers have found one, and he is a doozy. He is Josh Hallbolt, and he is spotlighted this week by our own Mark Bernard in his Barn Burner.
Kickers are known to have peculiar personalities, and there's no exception for Loyola's Josh Hallbolt.
You always take your own ball in the game?
I don't like people touching my ball if they don't have to.
Why's that?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I like to hold it, like to be one with the ball. I like it.
Sometimes it looks like he gets bored over there. Do you feel sorry for him?
I mean, I think he likes having his moments. I wish he could get out there more, but I mean, I guess the only thing we can do is score more touchdowns for him to kick extra points.
Sometimes the senior can be heard cracking jokes on the sideline, but most of the time he's usually off to himself with only a football as his company.
Before games, instead of listening to hype music, I listen to like sounds of the waterfalls and stuff like that. Stuff to just make my heartbeat go way down and just stay calm.
He's got a great personality. I mean, he keeps everything loose. I mean, he's always cracking jokes and everything like that. But when he steps onto the field, he's all business, and he's been a great weapon for us. He's really been the key to us winning our first 2 ball games. And so, without him, I don't think we'd be sitting here 3-0.
And when it comes to performing, Hallbolt is arguably the biggest weapon the 3-0 Flyers have. He's inherited the punting duties as well this season, and he's averaged over 42 yards per kick, including placing 3 punts inside the opponent's 10-yard line.
We didn't know who was going to punt this year, and I really just, working with place kickers is kind of my specialty. I didn't really punt, and he's like, we were kind of looking around. I was like, "Who's going to punt, Josh?" And he's like, "I don't know." So after a while, it became apparent. I was like, "I don't know if we really have a punter, Josh. I think you ought to punt." And he's like, "Yeah, I think I should too." And he just took to it in typical Josh fashion. He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm pretty good at this." So he works really hard. With kickers, they don't always have to be around all of us, and they can kind of stray away from what the rest of the team is doing. But he never quits, and he's always looking to take it and go with it. I mean, he wants to make it.
Yeah.
Last week at West Washita, Hallbolt kicked a 49-yard field goal, which was the second best in Loyola Flyer history. Tonight, he didn't get much of a chance to challenge that record because the Flyers kept scoring touchdowns. So Hallbolt stayed kind of bored on the sidelines, something that he's really not used to. But with the Flyers moving like they did, Hallbolt did get some action as he did kick 7 extra points. And having a reliable kicker in Hallbolt allows Jeter to broaden his play sheet on offense, especially when they get close to the red zone.
Oh, it's big. Once we get inside the 20, it lets me know that we don't have to force anything. We can still run it if we don't. If it's 3rd and short and we don't get it, I know that I got a guaranteed 3 points sitting right there. So it makes it a lot easier once we get into the red zone. To call those plays.
It's just good to know that even if we can't get all the 7, we can still get 3, and it's just nice to know that we, regardless of if we can't score the touchdown, we have him. We have his have his strength in his leg, and it's always good to know we can get points up.
Coach Mitchell holds the school record with a 54-yarder that he kicked in 1994. He wouldn't mind seeing Harbaugh get a shot at his record, but in the meantime, he'll keep challenging Harbaugh by making his attempts in practice more difficult.
You know, that's the kind of record you really don't have a lot of control over, because you might never get to kick a 55-yarder in a game. But what we can work on is, you know, we've done. It's funny that you've got this shot back here, because we kicked a ton of footballs back in that corner through those uprights to where they go from this to this. Mm-hmm. So in the off season, we're putting in a ton of work on a smaller target. So when he comes out here on Friday nights, it's a little easier for him.
Mm-hmm. Harbaugh's longest field goal in practice was from 57 yards. And yes, he definitely wants a shot to top his coach's record, but he's not going to beg Jeter for the opportunity to do it.
You going to give him that shot if he has it?
If the time is right and we need it, you know, I mean, we'll see. It's not something that I'm ever going to go into the game and say, hey, you know, we're going after this record. You know, I don't go into any games with that kind of mentality, you know, but you know, we may. I mean, if that opportunity presents itself and he has that look in his eye where I think he can do it, I'll definitely give him the opportunity.
But if the Flyers continue to cash in touchdowns from the red zone, like they did last week against St. Frederick's, then Harbaugh will be satisfied for guarding his footballs and waiting for the field goal unit to be called. With the Loyola Flyers at Nesmer Stadium, this is Mark Bernard for Tim Fletcher's High School Headquarters.
A kid that averages 42 yards a punt and can swing his leg through and kick 50-plus yard field goals. I have a feeling that if Josh Harbaugh really wants to play college football, he may get that opportunity. Love the way that he's kind of like a bullpen guy, you know, like a closer. A little quirky, very effective. You never know if he's going to play on Saturdays, but we do know this. There are a lot of kids who were Friday night heroes in Caddo, Bossier, DeSoto, Claiborne Parish, Webster Parish, Lincoln Parish. Well, now they're taking care of business at the next level. We begin our next level with Tre'Davious White out of Green Oaks High School. Tre'Davious had a nice day against Mississippi State, 4 tackles, also half a sack. But when quarterbacks test him, their quarterback rating is 8.6. Pro Football Focus says that's the best of any quarterback in Power 5 conferences. Moving on now, Nebraska's Kieran Williams had another nice day for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He's a bold man. He says if Nebraska's new chrome helmets are going to wear this week, hey, it's just a uniform. Once you start trying to be pretty, it's not football, it's modeling. He's a leading tackler for the Huskers with 22. Verlin Hunter out of Mansfield had a nice day for the G-men in a win over Jackson State. 4 catches, 38 yards. He's got 9 catches for 79 yards this season, as Grambling is a force to be reckoned with in the SWAG. How about McNeese State's Jamario Gross Whitaker out of Evangel? Tough loss against Stephen F. Austin, but Jamario had a good game. 5 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss. He leads McNeese State in tackles, tackles for a loss, and in sacks. Moving now north to Ruston, where Trent Taylor did it again. Cliff Kingsbury told Trent Taylor after the game, reminds him of Wes Welker. 6 catches, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a loss to Texas Tech. He is the number 4 receiver in the country in yardage, number 1 with 5 touchdowns. Jared Kraft out of Houghton High School had his best day as a running back at Louisiana Tech. 166 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. He has absolutely taken over the feature back spot for Louisiana Tech. They're at Middle Tennessee this week. Arizona's Shun Brown out of Calvary got on the board. Yes. He had his first touchdown this season. Had a nice day and a big win over Hawaii. Shun Brown, a lot of catches and a touchdown. Donovan Wilson of Texas A&M getting it done. Had 9 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss in the Aggies win over Auburn. Of course, this week Donovan Wilson goes up against Jared Cornelius out of Evangel when the Aggies and Hogs get together. Notre Dame's Jerry Tillery out of Evangel had a nice day and a loss to Michigan State. 5 tackles, 4 of those solo, and he had 2 tackles for a loss in that 36-28 defeat at the hands of Sparty. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the speed and bigness, I think it's a word, of the Houghton Buccaneers. What's their secret out there? We'll find out more when High School Headquarters, presented by Chevyland, returns right after these messages.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
Dreaming about college? Choose us. We're flexible. Attend on your schedule, your time. Our tuition per semester is approximately half compared to four-year universities. Get the opportunity to become workforce ready in high-demand career areas. Bossier Parish Community College. Dreams start here.
Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home. Good life starts at home, and your style sets the tone. Bringing the good life home, make it your own. You're gonna love the experience. Now it all makes sense. Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
This is Tim Fletcher's high school headquarters, presented by Chevyland on My 45, KSHV, aka V45. The kids call it the V45. Us old codgers still refer to it as My 45, so I apologize. But we are glad to be here with you on KSHV on this Thursday night. And guys, there is something in the water, maybe. There's something in the beans. There's something by the railroad tracks. There's something at Houghton that makes kids fast and big. We took a closer look. What's the secret to the Houghton Buccaneers? Always reliable speed and that typical one or two kids that are just big boys. There's fast, and then there's Houghton fast. For as long as folks can remember, kids from Houghton have been able to move from point A to point B at a quicker clip than most of their competitors in the area.
You know, you go back to Joe Delaney and, you know, in that group, and I know David Causey was, you know, in that same era. He ran track at Northwestern. So, you know, we've always had one or two guys that could run, and it's been true. You know, we had Michael Arkins and then Ty Schilling kind of on that same group, and, you know, now Josh Lister and Conan Hayes, and, you know, it's, we've always had a few guys that were fast.
I knew I was fast because I was like in Pee Wee football and stuff. So I tried, and like my brother, he be like, give me like, so we ain't had enough money to buy no parachute, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we have like, I get a rope and I tied up an end of like a tire or something like that, a tractor tire, and just pull it and stuff. He told me, that's how you get faster and all that. And my 8th grade year, I was winning races, and by the last track meet that's from Houghton, Robert McKnight from Parkway, he beat me in the 200 meter, whatever. and everybody was like, oh my God, it's so surprised and all this stuff. So I wasn't mad because I wanted competition, so it started getting boring. I was the only person that's, running. So,
The current crop of Buccaneers is no exception, and this year they have the crown to prove the rule. 3 members of the current batch of Bucks won the state 4x100 5A title last spring.
Lister runs anchor. Levante Gibson ran first leg. Kynan Hayes ran second leg. And then DeCoven Ware, which graduated last year, was the third leg.
My job was basically to set the tone for the rest of the runners.
You did?
Yes, sir.
So were you at the finish line by the time he got there? Or were you
I was waiting on him.
What's that like, man, to have him?
It's just nice to see somebody actually run that fast. It's probably one of the fastest person I've ever seen in my life.
You ever had your 40-yard dash time?
Hand time I ran like my freshman year, 4.3.
Man, 4.3 is a freshman.
Yep.
They're gonna be hard to beat again this year.
So what's the secret to the speed in H-Town? Depends on who you ask.
I think it's good genetics. The Lord has blessed us, I guess. Maybe it's the water. I really don't know. And we've just been, like I said, blessed.
People from other schools like Evangel we be drinking well water or eat cornbread and stuff. That's how we get faster and stuff.
We came to state and it was like, do y'all have the fastest times? It was like, yeah. It was like, what do y'all do to get so fast? We had no answer for them. Just run fast.
Do you tell them it's something you eat called a...
Josh?
Yeah.
He always says it's the chicken that makes him fast. Always. I don't know why. I don't know what makes me fast, but it's definitely not chicken.
Track fast doesn't always equate to football fast. That's where practice and coaching combine to turn those track champs into Friday night nitro.
It's kind of hard because you gotta stop and miss people, whatever. But if I see an opportunity, a real good hole, whatever, I just run fast as I can and just beat everybody. Hope I can beat everybody, whatever.
Well, just like with any spread team, I think we try to get our kids in space. And just try to get them the ball, whether that's on a screen or whether that's on, some type of motion block, bubble that we run. Just anything that we can do to get a one-on-one matchup. We feel like a lot of times with our speed that we should be able to win those matchups.
When I catch the ball and I see a crease open, I just gotta, almost like the gun, just gotta break and just try to get as many yards as I can.
It allows you when things aren't going well on offense to know that there's always a chance. And our kids know that. We can get stuffed, can't get a first down, but we know that we've got a couple of guys. If we ever give them the ball in the right spot, they can, get a mismatch and score. So it gives you that ability to always come back. And our kids believe that. So, it's like you feel like you're never totally out of it.
Speed is one thing, size is another. Perhaps not as often as the Bucks break out the speed merchants, but Houghton typically has 1 or 2 boys every so often that fit the label
country big. We call it that here too.
Josh Cooper, 6'6", 365 pounds of man mountain, could very well be the biggest buck in history.
Golly, he's like a Mack truck.
Have you ever been hit by him?
No, I wouldn't want to either.
It's a lot of man. He's huge.
When he shows up, you can't help but notice whether you're a teammate.
You stand at practice, you just look at him like this, you got to step back because you don't make him seem like you're so short compared to him.
Or an opponent.
During the games, a lot. He's like, dang, they be arguing, and he be like, damn, how am I get around this big dude? And I be trying not to laugh and stuff.
Yeah, they say, what are we feeding him?
What do you say?
I just tell him that he's just working hard in the weight room. He's trying to get bigger. And they say he don't need to get any bigger than what he already is.
Of course, since this is Houghton, Cooper also has speed for a young man of size.
To tell you a little bit about him, I took him to Mississippi State this summer, and Coach Hevesy, the O-line coach, and they love him. He goes out when he's 6'6", 365. They had to actually take him to a special scale, a different room. They call it the truck stop because it's got a bigger scale. Well, then he goes out in the 40 and runs like a 5'140. And Coach Hevesy pulls us over to the side and he says, you realize that he would outperform half the guys at the NFL Combine right now. It doesn't mean he's a better player than they are, but just on measurables, 6'6", 365, 140, strong in the weight room. And again, it's nothing we've done. He's got the tools to succeed.
We broke a long run last week against Woodlawn, and you can see it on film. He was just about step for step with our running back, which is impressive to see a 365-pound man or guy running down the field with our running back.
Around here, Dak Prescott is just one of the boys, except he's now one of the Cowboys. And not just any, he's the starting quarterback. A special place for a special kid held in high esteem in his hometown.
Like, I asked him one time, like, how did he get to Mississippi State? It was like just doing everything he needed to do in the classroom and on the field, just grinding.
Yeah, it's exciting. Our whole community is excited. Our kids are excited about it. But really and truly, it's not as big a deal to us as it probably is people outside of here. To us, it's still Dak, and he doesn't make it a big deal when he comes here. He's here enough that our kids don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, they don't hound him for autographs and pictures, and now when we go into Bossier that happens, but in Halton he's still Dak, and I think that's small community. It'll probably always be that way.
Well, it stinks that Josh Cooper, Mr. Pound today, 6'6", 365 pounds, a mountain man who runs a 5'1", 40-yard dash. We were out at Houghton on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day it was this week. I think it was Monday. And he was sick. He was absent from school that day, so we didn't get an opportunity to visit with Josh. Looking forward to sitting down with him. Well, maybe I'll stand while he sits so we can kind of be eye to eye. Houghton, they always have those kids that are quick as a hiccup. Now, every single week on our radio show over on 1130 The Tiger from 6 in the morning until 9 in the morning, my buddy Rogers Hampton and Adam Hester and I do our radio show, the Tim Fletcher Show, and we're really big and heavy on high school football, which you can imagine. We do this show, so we're pretty big fans of high school sports. We have high school coaches join us in regular segments each week, same time slot every week, so you can count on who's going to be on when. And we try to cull some of the more interesting comments that these coaches make between tonight's show and the next. We'll have the next radio wave. Right now, it's time to listen to what some of the coaches had to say over the last couple of days. James Thurman joining us. And, Coach, we've got a comment/question for you here on the Bayou Bellway Trash text line. Ask Coach Thurman about his first head coaching job for the Bossier Parks and Recreation Butler Bears. What's that about?
Yeah, that was definitely a wild time in my life. I think I was 18 years old, freshly just graduated from Halton, and me and I think 3 friends were going to go, help coach a football team, and the head coach that was going to do it kind of backed out the last minute, couldn't do it. So here I was stuck, as the head coach, and we definitely had some snickers when we come in, and a couple of guys that thought these high school kids were going to try to coach, and we were just very fortunate to have a loaded roster, and we only scored on one time that year. And funniest part about that is, kids not knowing, just being kids. We won the city championship, and they tried to dump the ice chest on me, but it was full of Cokes, and that was kind of a very, very dangerous situation.
It actually came down to, some coaches' chess match, I think, at the end, as I really thought that they were going to do this. And Coach Hall, the offensive coordinator, man, he made one of the, I don't know if I can say this on air, but the biggest calls I've ever called. No timeouts. He calls a reverse from the 13-yard line. The kid gets tackled. The ball game's over. They had one kid left in the quarterback, and I just knew they were going to try 2 shots in the end zone with him. Sure enough, they I blitzed and had all the coverage that way, and he ran it was a perfect call. I mean, some coaches get into this ego and all that and about, that this and that, but I mean, he got me on that. I mean, that was a great football call, and it paid off.
Who do you think is the best college football coach in your lifetime?
Shoot, I mean, I would have to say Coach Saban based on record. I mean, that's Coach Bryant was on the beginning. I didn't really get to see them much. But I would have to go with Coach Saban, I believe.
that's what we were just talking about. That and the two guys right now is he and Urban Meyer. I mean, they get the best players and they get the most out of the best players. I think that their track record for doing that is above anybody else in the country right now.
Basically what it boils down to is, Southwood came out, and just like I told our guys they would, you got a team that, number one, is not a bad football team, gets their first win, in a while, obviously. They're going to be excited. They're playing at home, that sort of deal. I mean, it's an easy way to fall into a trap, district play starts next week, and then you put up two big numbers in the first 2 weeks. And, you've had success the last couple of years, and all of a sudden, you guys start thinking, well, all we got to do is just show up. And they don't say that, obviously, but, I think somewhere in the back of their mind, it's like, well, we'll be fine. And then Southwood came out and had, and we had a great first half. We actually had 21 first downs to their 2. And we controlled the ball. We took the first drive down, at will and scored. But Southwood wouldn't go away.
Is there any special incentive because this is a public-private, select, non-select matchup?
Probably just me. Probably not necessarily. Probably just me. As far as our players are concerned, they just want to play. Our players are a lot more interested in the local aspect of it, the fact that they know a lot of their players, and the fact that people talk and Twitter and Facebook friends and all that other stuff. That's more intriguing to them.
You're fond of a lot of kids out there from Woodlawn that are at that next level. Donovan Wilson and Texas A&M put on a pretty good show last week, didn't they, Coach?
Yes, he did. And he's a great kid, and a lot of times we get so upset about losses at the end of the day. Champions are merely guys that don't let losses define them. He went through some and doing his team, but what makes you the most, makes you feel great about it is when you get a text message from him. He's writing a paper for a class, and it's about leadership, and he said, "Coach, I want to write about you." So that's what makes you feel good about this business and what makes you keep going to work every day.
All right, so James Thurman of Plain Dealing got his first win as a head coach as an 18-year-old high schooler. Okay, Ab admitted that he just got outfoxed by Jess Curtis down at Manny in that exciting 34-33 game. Bo Meeks, like a lot of people, believes that Nick Saban's the standard bearer for college football head coaches. Reynolds Moore just really was proud of his team for finding that gas pedal in the second half against Southwood. David Feaster tomorrow night, the matchup that we all have been looking forward to. Evangel coming over to Preston Crownover against Parkway. He's really kind of anxious to put the best foot forward for the non-select schools against the very select Evangel squad. So we'll see about that. And then, of course, Jerwin Wilson, again, showing the impact that these men have on the kids they coach. Donovan Wilson, Texas A&M standout in the secondary, writing his paper on leadership with Jerwin Wilson as his subject matter. Of course, Donovan's going to have his hands full this Saturday, an 8 o'clock kick between Arkansas and Texas A&M in Jerry's World. Should be a lot of fun as Donovan tries to slow down Jared Cornelius, who missed last week's game against Texas State for the Razorbacks. The Evangel alum should be in the lineup Saturday night when they kick off at 8 o'clock. All right, guys, so we've got our freaky questions still to come. We've got our Bipsy Unsung Hero. I think you're going to like this story. That's coming up, as well as just taking a closer look at the games that are on tap tomorrow night. Guys, we are so happy to be with you on this Thursday on KSHV V45. This is Tim Fletcher's high school headquarters. We are presented by Chevyland. And I'm going to tell you right now, these guys are so good, so honest, and do such an incredible job. They've got 9.5 acres of cars and trucks to choose from. We think they are as honest as the day is long. Stop by and see for yourself. They don't crowd around you when you pull out onto the lot. They're just really laid back, man. It's just kind of a chill way to buy a Chevy. It's pretty cool. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling, supporting high school headquarters right here on KSHV. And we'll be back right after this.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
Dreaming about college? Choose us. We're flexible. Attend on your schedule, your time. Our tuition per semester is approximately half compared to four-year universities. Get the opportunity to become workforce ready in high-demand career areas. Bossier Parish Community College. Dreams start here.
Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home. Good life starts at home, and your style sets the tone. Bringing the good life home, make it your own. You're gonna love the experience. Now it all makes sense. Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home.
Guys, welcome back. Hope all is well with you and yours on this fantastic football Thursday. By now, they're at halftime, I would think, at the Bird-Shreve game, Loyola and St. Mary's as well. Tune in to Channel 6 tonight. They'll have the highlights for you of both of those games, and we'll be talking about them tomorrow on Friday Football Frenzy between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. It's powered by Chevyland. What else would it be? It's right here on KSHV V45. We're also on the radio, though, tomorrow night, every Friday night on News Radio 710 Keel. It's me and my buddy Rogers Hampton and our old pal Adam Hester and a cavalcade of correspondents, parents, coaches, principals, athletic directors, school presidents, who are out and about watching their kids play, watching their schools play, and we use them as our ears and eyes and mouthpiece of what's going on at these games. It's really a lot of fun, especially when the going gets tough in the fourth quarter and there's something exciting going on. You can always count for the octaves to raise a little bit when our callers are on the phone with us. And that's a really good time. That's tomorrow night, Friday Football Frenzy, powered by Chevyland on KSHV and simulcast on News Radio 710 Keel. Well, it's time now for our Bipsy Unsung Hero of the Week. And when you think about Bipsy, you think unsung heroes of college education. Think about it. These guys have come along. I remember when I first got here 21 years ago, they were basically in that little annex next to the Airline High School. Well, they quickly outgrew that, and now what they are doing is exponentially enormous. They're building more buildings, they're making more cool stuff, they're adding more degrees, so something must be going well there. Yeah, I think so. It's for the non-traditional student, folks my age, maybe even a little older than my 32-year-old self, and then, of course, the traditional students coming out of high school, getting those core classes knocked out, maybe going ahead and getting that associate's degree because you want to get into the workforce with something that really means something, and Bipsy gets you trained for your career. Great folks over at Bipsy, and we appreciate their support for the Unsung Hero of the Week. And this week, instead of a player, our unsung hero is a coach. It's Chuck Dupree. You can go home again. The sun is shining brightly on the North Caddo Rebels nowadays, following a period of bleak seasons when the morale was mighty low.
About 3 years ago, when we won one game, I mean, there was just no highlights of the season. You know, it was just a continuous struggle, getting kids to come out. At that point, none of the basketball players were willing to come out and play football for us. You know, basketball's been the big dog here on campus for a while, so everybody wants to play basketball. We're struggling to retain coaches. You know, there was just a few of us running the whole show. Didn't have a full coaching staff, so that was a low point. It was a struggle.
What was the lowest number of coaches that you had?
There was a point where there was 3 of us. 3 of us running the whole show.
That's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So was it?
I mean, it's hard to have. I mean, basically, you just go straight to team every day because, I mean, there's no way to do any individual work, no way to break it out and do some, you know, drills with the kids. It's just go straight to team, try to install that week's game plan. That's really all you can do at that point when you got 3 coaches.
It was pretty tough. I mean, we had long weeks of practice. I mean, normally when you practice for that long, you expect a good outcome, but I mean, it don't always work out that way. But you still go out, play your hardest, and hope for the best.
Chuck Dupree renewed his vows as a head coach with his alma mater one game into the 2014 season. That first year featured some tough sledding, but the Rebs rebounded to win their final 2 games of the season to make the playoffs with a 2-8 record, coming on the heels of a 1-9 season the year before and 2-8 in 2012. Those back-to-back wins were the rebirth of the Rebels with Dupree at the helm.
You kept seeing improvement. You kept seeing we were being competitive in games and challenging, and then we got down to the end of the season. We won our last 2 games. Which really kind of, to me, that was the turning point. Letting the kids know that they keep working hard, they keep doing the right things, we're going to get there.
The momentum get to flowing, I mean, you kind of get used to like, hey, the hard work is paying off. And I mean, with a couple slight adjustments, I mean, working out over summer, he changed our workouts to 6 in the morning to 8 in the morning. I mean, you have to really wake up and get after it.
North Caddo owns a 2-1 mark heading into Friday's game with BTW. The wins have come in their last 2 games, including a takedown of Class 1A's then second-ranked St. Mary's squad.
You know, they graduated a bunch of seniors off of last year's team. So, you know, I tell them about that. Guys, they're not near as good as they were last year. I don't care what they're ranked. They're not near as good. Now, they're still a good football team. And the kids just believed. I mean, we played so bad against Logansport in the first game. They really wanted to come out and show. First home game, the excitement, you know, is there for that. So it was really good to come in at halftime and say, guys, we got them. I mean, we got them. And, you know, they can't do anything. Now, this is a coach talking to the kids now. You know, I know that they're still a good football team and they're well coached and they can do some things. But, you know, I wanted the kids to believe and go out there in the second half and say, all right, we're not going to lose this. And that's exactly what they did.
The second play on defense, when I made number 3 fumble on the sideline, I recovered it.
Did you go nuts?
Oh, yeah.
Did the crowd go nuts?
Mm-hmm.
Did the coaches go nuts?
Yeah, and I had got in trouble for celebrating.
Coach doesn't like celebrations, does he? He wants you to hand the ball to the official, huh? Did you learn your lesson from that?
Yes, sir.
Once we beat them, the kid, I actually had my starting fullback, Malik Hunt, came up to me after the game and he said, Coach, it was amazing. It's like we were stronger than them this year. We could just put them where we wanted and I can run where I wanted to. I was like, Malik, that's the off-season program. That's why we work all spring. That's why we were up here 4 days a week all summer. You are strong. It's not just like that. You are stronger than them because you worked your tail off and got better. I mean, that's how you win football games in the off-season. Getting bigger, stronger, faster.
Dupree, a 1980 grad of North Caddo, has the reputation of being hard-nosed, old school, a no-nonsense guy.
You know, it's funny that you say that, and this is the perception that I have, and I've had it all my life, that I'm just a mean old guy, you know. I got this look about me and when I come in here, I mean, yeah, I had to be mean, but I'm not a mean person. I'm really not a mean person. And those kids, I told them the other night, before we went out to the game against Homer, I said, guys, look, y'all know that I've changed over the last 3 years. And of course, all of them are like, yeah, you sure? I said, now, you know what I expect, but you also know that I've let you do some things that when I first come in here, I wouldn't dream about letting you do. That's because you're responding to me and you're doing what I expect. So I can lighten up on some of those things. Now, there are some things that I'm not going to lighten up on, and they know it. And I had one of them tell me, they said, Coach, I really get you now. I really get you. And I'm like, well, I'm glad. It's only been 3 years, but now you really get me, you know. So it's been fun. It's been fun for me to see the growth in them as players and as human beings. I mean, just growing up, like the one guy, Reginald, I mean, you talk to him, and we got off on a bad start, and he stuck it out. And I had patience with him, and now he's a pretty good football player. I mean, he's a leader for me.
I think out of everybody, I had the roughest experience because, I mean, he tested me first, and we had our times, and once I got used to him, I mean, he's actually a really good coach.
He's kind of a no-nonsense kind of guy, isn't he?
Yes, I mean, he don't take any extra stuff. I mean, he's strictly about business.
When I first met him, he told me that when he saw me play on the basketball court, and he didn't want the attitude I had up there, so I had to change the play for him.
And so here you are, so obviously something good's happened, huh? Dupree has been a head coach at Airline, Como, Northwood, and in Texas. Plus, he spent 10 years as an assistant in the Lafayette area. But North Caddo is home, and it's a place he didn't believe would ever show up on his resume.
No, I sure didn't. I mean, never crossed my mind that I would come. I mean, I was in South Louisiana whenever this job came open, and I mean, it was other reasons just because of the wanting to come back home. But, you know, my parents, I wanted to come back up here and be with them and closer to my family. I mean, my wife's family lives in Lafayette. But thinking I would come back to be the head coach here, absolutely not. I mean, I never dreamed of that. And the first time 3 years ago, whenever I ran to the sideline from the field, it was pretty special because I'm like, man, I remember 25 years ago doing this as a player. Now I get to do it as a coach, so it's pretty exciting here.
He knows what it feels like to be a Rebel, so I feel like he got a hand-to-hand experience. I mean, he knows what it feels like.
I mean, first of all, you know his heart is 100% in it. You know, there's no doubt the way that man works. I mean, the hours he puts in and the hard work that he puts in, you know, I feel like some of that is he's at his home school. I mean, I know a lot of that just comes from inside of him, but gosh, you know he wants to do his best to bring pride to his community. His family is here. His family still lives in Old City, his mother and father, you know, and got brothers and sisters in the community, and it's something that's just big to him. It's important to him.
Dupree's family and friends are one thing, but the community and basketball crazed school has bought into the success of this football team.
They're getting on board. We had a good crowd here last Friday night. You know, a lot of financial support is coming into the team. Some great supporters. Mr. Gorzalowski's done a lot for us. His ad's right there under the scoreboard. He's done a heck of a lot for us and supporting the program. And there's dozens other that have done exactly the same thing.
It's good. I mean, I have looked up in the stands a couple times on a timeout or a water break, and I see that the stands are, I mean, as the years go on, we're building more and more fans. I mean, stands are packed every night, and I feel like we got a lot of support.
Jerry Bird, the first time he was here, he went to the playoffs. I think he won a playoff game, did a very good job. And then the second time around, the excitement for football it wasn't here. And it was in basketball, and it's still in basketball. I mean, and for good reason. You know, we have very good basketball players. I mean, Mr. Basketball came out of here last year, and we're going to be good again this year. But I think I've done a pretty good job of going up there and getting them basketball players to come out here on the football field and help me out.
Had a blast out at North Caddo's practice the other day. Those kids are fired up. They've got a chance to win 3 games in a row for the first time since 2011. Now, Chuck Dupree said on the radio show the other day, now wait, Fletch, we won 2 games at the end of the regular season 3 years ago, then won our first regular season game 2 years ago. Or 2 years ago they won the last 2, then last year won their first 1, but there was a playoff loss in the middle. So they have won 3 regular season games in a row since 2011, but there was a playoff loss kind of sprinkled in there. No matter how you slice it, if they can take care of business against Kendrick Law's BTW Lions, that's a 3-game winning streak. That's pretty doggone impressive, but they got their work cut out for them. Kendrick's got a really nice BTW team. Now, every single week, we get together with some of the kids that we have a chance to get out there and meet, and are so fortunate. These are really good kids. They're funny, they're bright, and they have a good personality. And we try to bring it out with our Fletcher's Freaky Questions this week's episode. What's your favorite cereal and why?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Why? Because it's like, I think I'm addicted to cinnamon. I don't know why. It's just real good.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Do you know that's the same as Josh Lister at Hot?
I did not know
So
that.
you got a big man, strong man, and you got the speedy guy, both like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Why do you like it so much?
I mean, sweet, cinnamon, I mean, it's just a good cereal.
I have to go with Fruit Loops because very a lot of colors, a lot of flavors.
If you could be any cartoon character in history, what cartoon character would you be and why?
I'd have to say Jerry from Tom and Jerry because he's always getting over on time.
The Flash.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you run fast, or you want to be able to run fast?
I can run fast, but I want to be able to run that fast.
What's the most embarrassing use of your map on your phone that you've ever had to either resort to or got lost with?
We were trying to go to the mall one day. I think it was in 7th grade, and I used it on my phone, and I was looking down, and he was like, "We're here." Or Siri said, "We're here," and I looked over, and it was just a bush. It was just like woods, and we were nowhere near the mall, and it was pretty funny.
What's the worst movie you've seen ever, and why did you stick around to watch all of it?
Shoot, I'd probably have to say, probably Maze Runner, and the only reason why I stick around because I had a girl with me.
There's our freaky questions for the week. We've got one more timeout. We'll go down the rundown of tomorrow night's games when we return next.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
Dreaming about college? Choose us. We're flexible. Attend on your schedule, your time. Our tuition, per semester, is approximately half compared to four-year universities. Get the opportunity to become workforce ready in high-demand career areas. Bossier Parish Community College. Dreams start here.
Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home. Good life starts at home, and your style sets the tone. Bringing the good life home, make it your own. You're gonna love the experience. Now it all makes sense. Brewer Quality Homes, bringing the good life home.
Chevyland wants you to remember September with big bonus cash savings. Get 25% off MSRP on a 2016 Malibu LS. Chevyland's price is just $17,995. This 2016 Silverado 4-door double cab V8 is only $27,995. That's 24% off MSRP at Chevyland. And get bonus tag savings on Equinox, Traverse, Trax, Cruise, Impala, and Colorado. Like us on Facebook or shop now at Chevyland.com. Chevyland, you know it by the feeling.
Welcome back, guys. This is it. We're putting a bow on this puppy. It's time to call it a night. But let's go over the games that are going to be taking place tomorrow night. Airline in Southwood, Evangel at Parkway. Evangel, of course, has only won one game this year, but they have certainly played some tough competition in Neville and Allen, Texas. Parkway, going to be a great matchup. Their offense versus Evangel's defense. Airline trying to get back on track. Southwood is as well. District 1-4A gets underway tonight as well in district play. Woodlawn goes to Northwood. That should be a high-scoring affair. North DeSoto at Bossier. Both teams 2-1, losing for the first time last week. Huntington goes to Benton. Tigers are undefeated, highest-ranked team in District 1-4A in the 4A state rankings. And Minden, undefeated, takes on Fair Park at Independence Stadium. In non-district games tonight, Houghton welcomes Green Oaks. There's one team in District 1-5A that doesn't have a district game every week, and it's going to be Houghton. We mentioned North Caddo at BTW. Bastrop comes to Mansfield. Oh, buddy, Mike Green and company taking on the Bastrop Rams. North Webster goes to Ouachita. Wow. Calvary goes down to Zachary. Ruston gets their second win of the season. They take on Jay Hodge. Undefeated Manny welcomes Union Parish. And man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Logansport 3-0 takes on Basile down in DeSoto Parish. Guys, that's it for High School Headquarters, presented by Chevyland.